If you could tell me what things looked like prior to getting the integration, what items were holding back your team from their successes, and what did you find really ended up working well for you once things were completed?
Integration and the movement over to ramp, but we kind of implemented them both at the same time. And we really didn't use the ramp card until the integration was complete. So everything I kind of am going to kind of compare it to how our credit card spend and coding was before to how it is now.
Okay.
We had various vendor cards, so our bank cards that we would make purchases on. We would then get those statements at the end of the month, and then it'd be a manual process trying to code these statements into our accounting system to see where things went. So now, as we've moved over to the ramp card, and it now integrates with Sage, now all the accounting coding is done within the ramp system, and that automatically posts over to the accounting system. Ramp provides us a lot of information that we can enter at time of sale that we can use to help code correctly, and then it makes posting the expenses into my accounting system much easier.
What were some of the frustrations that your team originally shared with you that really initiated that leaning towards ramp?
Manual process, time consuming, and not only time consuming on the just entering it in, but to figure out what the spend was for. Now, when you get it, you look at ramp, it tells you who bought it, what division, and then we can actually put the accounting codes within the ramp system. And then the integration goes straight to my GL, and it's done timely, like when it happens, not like a month later, like when you get a credit card statement.
That piece now with that was manual is actually working well for you in terms of time savings and reduced manual input. What things do you like about ramp when it comes to those items?
So on the ramp, the visibility, the security to be able to see what they actually spend when they spend it. The ability to lock down certain items. Before, our accounts payable system is pretty robust through Concur, where invoices get approvals. Our credit card spend didn't have those kind of visibility or looking at, so Ramp provides that. And then getting all of the work done on the front end saves the accounting on the back end, so things are posted more timely. You're not tracking things down.
What would you say to a business right now that might be considering using Ramp? What would be something that you'd share with them might be worth that consideration?
I think just the ease of cost capturing. The mobile app, super easy. Take a picture of your receipts. The AI is not bad trying to guess what the coding is based off of previous things. So we like that. The ability to integrate with our ERP system is a big help. And instead of just doing an export and import, it's a true integration. So it's posting directly to the files. That's nice. So less chances of something going wrong. Visibility and time saving. They are the two biggest. I was probably a month behind on expenses. Now, if it's constantly rolling and you're constantly, doing the same amount of spend, that's not that big of a deal. But now I know that the spend goes in when it happens as opposed to when it gets coded in and uploaded. Real-time data as opposed to being a month behind. I haven't been on the Ramp system long enough to leverage any of the reporting aspects that I know it provides. Just getting people to use the card has been the first priority. Second, making sure they know how to code it. And then after that's done, then kind of look at some of the reports I know Ramp can provide.
In regards to working with the Anyware Apps team, what was your experience like overall?
It was good. I had a lot going on at once, so I'm not sure I was able to give them the full amount of attention that might have been able to speed up the integration. But I think for the most part, trying to understand what I wanted to get done and how I wanted to integrate. I think at the end, it worked in the end.
Were there any unexpected issues that came up during the implementation?
I don't think anything unexpected, but just differences. And I think a lot of it was how my GL account is structured. Might be different than others. So trying to work through my account structure and then how do you set that up within the ramp system took a little bit of, nuance, because not only do I have account numbers, but I have departments and I have lines of business and I have locations. I've 4 different strings that go together. And then just getting those synced up and turned on and where to turn it on some places. So they did some back end work on my Sage 100 with some buttons in sync, but making sure you've got to go to multiple places. And that's another thing on the implementation. That's just how Sage works.
I can see why you feel relieved. So, all right, that's done. Tell me more about the time savings now that you're getting from Ramp. What has that freed your team up to be able to do?
I am probably saving about 16 to 20 hours that it would take to enter in month-old data. So now that person's able to spend those 2 days getting to other parts of their job. And I think as the more we use it, I think the more time, it can save. So, we double our spend that we used to spend, and that 16 hours can be 32 hours of work I would have saved. But right now, I think it's about 2 days of a month for one person. That time, I think it cuts down on mistakes. And I think the timeliness of making sure getting, job costing information into it helps to be able to put that stuff in there, making sure it gets to the right location is a lot easier now than it was before. So I'm very happy with Ramp, and I'm just as happy that the Ramp integrates with my ERP system. So Ramp is not only a time saver on the accounting side, but the ability to take pictures of your receipts and not have to. So expense reports became significantly easier to do. I haven't really quantified the time savings on the processing of expense reports, and then the time savings for the user to put together their expense reports. So we have been able to increase our spend by lessening the amount of employee spend. Managers using their own cards and putting expense reports out. Now they all have Ramp cards. So that increased our cash back by 1-2%. So I don't know, a couple 10-20,000 a year that I'm going to pick up in rebates just by no longer having them do their own expense reports and using their own Ramp card. And then the ability to see exactly what they're spending when they're spending it. I don't have to keep up receipts anymore. I have a dinner, I take a picture, I write the comment, and I go. User-friendly, timeliness is the biggest items.
Are there any stories that you have that your team members have shared that I'm loving this aspect of it? I'd be interested to hear about that.
They love the aspect of taking a picture of their receipt, writing a memo code. You're getting a text before you even get the receipt sometimes saying you've spent money. They get it, they take the picture, they write a little code all through text, and then they're done. They don't have to think about it.
Appreciate you're making the time to go over these things with us. The feedback you gave us was really helpful. Something I can bring back to the team. The testimonials, phenomenal. Again, John, I appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out here on a Friday afternoon, and I guess we'll see you around. All right, thanks, sir. Take care.